Good morning. Everything belongs, everything is connected. In this wonderful, wonderful universe in which we're part, everything is connected in many ways, in different ways. My body is made up of atoms, and those atoms come from, they've been water in rivers and streams and oceans and rain. Some atoms have been part of sand and dirt and earth and rocks and mountains. Some have been plants and trees and animals and stardust. Everything is connected in this wonderful world in which we live. There's this story of connection that I love. It deals with wolves in America. The wolf population was being decimated in many parts of America and dying out. And so they got the wolf population, they got some together and they nurtured them to regenerate the population of wolves. And then they reintroduced them into parts of the US, including Yellowstone National Park in an experiment. They reintroduced in 1994-95 a dozen wolves, and then they added another dozen or so. There were 20 to 30 wolves reintroduced into Yellowstone Park, a small group of wolves, carefully reintroduced. They didn't want them to decimate the deer and elk population that was also native to the park. What they observed was the wolf population culled the deer and elk to a sustainable level. The deer and elk had been in boom and bust cycles. When there was rich resources, they'd eat a lot and that would be fine. They'd grow, and then scarce resources, they'd compete for food and some would die out. The wolf population kept them to a sustainable level, killing off the weaker, more vulnerable, sicker animals, creating a stronger, more resilient elk and deer population. But also they drove them up into the higher country where they were more naturally found, instead of the lower areas where they trampled on shrubs and plants and trees and eaten the vegetation, and it was decimated. And as the deer and elk disappeared from these parts, it regrew, and it regrew very quickly and strongly. And that brought in other creatures, other bird life and mammals, and there were otters and beavers. Well, beavers came first and they ate the trees and the plants, and they created dams, and the otters came, and reptiles and amphibians and waterfowl and ducks, and there was a whole change in the ecology around the rivers. But also the wolves kept the coyote population down, which enabled the animals they predated on, particularly rabbits and mice, to come back stronger, which brought in other animals, foxes and hawks and eagles and others. And so the ecology of fauna and flora in the park changed quite significantly. The bear population was impacted also in a positive way. But one of the significant changes was the physical geography of the rivers. Now that the deer and elk weren't down trampling the riverbanks, pushing it down, eroding it away, and the vegetation was growing back and stabilising the riverbanks, the river flow was tighter. And suddenly there were water holes. And the whole geography changed dramatically. The reintroduction of just a small group of one species changed the ecology of the park in a very positive way. When they were removed, the park was not good. Reintroduction made a huge difference. Everything is connected, everything belongs. And this is the heart of our universe. We see the connections between people. What we do as human beings has an effect on everything. Whether it's an invasion in the Ukraine, which, I don't have connections, links with the Ukraine in people, but when I see the images, I feel it. It touches me. It's had an impact across the world in responses and reactions. We are connected. We've been reading from John's story of Jesus. And in John's story of Jesus, there's this mysterious cyclic pattern of conversation that goes around in circles, and it's sometimes confusing and strange, but beautiful. In it, Jesus tells his disciples, his followers, to love one another. in the way that they've been loved, to love each other. To love in a way that's generous and inclusive, a way that builds up, a way that embraces everyone as an equal. Not the same, but brings that diversity of humanity together to share the gifts and the skills and the graces and what everyone brings to the table. Love one another as you have been loved, just as they have been loved in God. They are to love. And this week we read again from the last night of Jesus before he dies on the cross, a prayer. And in this prayer, he prays to God saying, may they be one. These people, these disciples you've given me, may they be one. And all who come after, and the whole world, may they be one as you and I are one. I am in you and you are in me and they are in me, and be in them in the same way you're in me. May they know you and your love and be held in that. And this really is the Trinitarian relationship that we speak of in Christian circles. That God is three, Creator, Christ and Spirit. But God is one in this relational community, this dance of love in which each Creator, Christ, Spirit love infinitely and profoundly and give of self to the other. And this flow of love, this generous love, is the model and the pattern and the basis of everything. And it's out of this that all things flow and are created. And that this DNA, this pattern, is embedded into the whole of the world and creation and life and people. We are all connected and we all belong because this DNA, if you like, of God is in all things and holds us together. We belong and we're connected in God. This mystery at the heart of everything. And he prays that we may be one. Not the same, but equal. That we will love each other generously and inclusively. Instead of creating the barriers and the divisions that we do based on skin colour or looks or age or gender or sexual orientation or ability, disability, mental capacity, wealth or poverty or power or weakness, or instead of building barriers and walls, we build bridges and open things for people to walk through and be connected and love one another. Are the children in the Ukraine different from those in Russia? Are mums and dads in the Ukraine different from those in Russia? Do they bleed differently? Do they feel differently? What are the wars and the conflicts about? Except our own desire for power and control and greed or fear, lust. Jesus prays that we'll be one. And what a message this is for the world. That we may be one, that we will see the connectedness between ourselves and other people, between ourselves and the rest of creation. And this is what the arguments and the work of climate change and environment is all about. When the human race does something small over here, it has a profound impact on the whole earth. And the whole earth is struggling and suffering under the weight of humanity. And it's not just impacting people there or people there, it's impacting all of us. It's in the air we all breathe. It's heating the waters of the oceans that surround all of our lands. And it's impacting every species and every part of our earth. Because everything is connected and everything belongs. And we belong in God. And Jesus invites us into this journey of love, into this way of love that is generous and profound and beautiful, that reaches out and embraces people in and is inclusive, that gives people the freedom to be who they are, and it helps each of us to flourish and bring the best we are to the table, to share our gifts with the whole human race and with the earth. It's about us becoming the best we can be, flourishing in who we are and helping others to flourish as well. That's the vision of God's reign, And that's what Jesus was on about. And that's the essence of his prayer, that we may be one in love, in grace, in beauty, in wonder, in truth, and following his way. How about you? Will we walk in this way of love? Will we love one another? Will we be one and strive for the unity of all